Every midnight, an old blue boat untied itself from the weathered pier. No captain called its name, no wind pushed its sails. Yet every evening it departed. Theo had watched it since childhood. The fishermen ignored it. The villagers pretended it belonged to the fog. Only Theo believed boats sometimes searched for dreamers instead of destinations. One quiet autumn night he stepped aboard. The rope loosened itself. The harbor disappeared without making a sound. The sea became the sky. The stars floated beneath him. Whales carried constellations across silver waves. Every forgotten wish rose from the water like glowing lanterns, finding their owners once again. The boat visited islands built entirely from lullabies, mountains carved from sleeping clouds, libraries where every unwritten dream waited patiently inside empty journals. Theo understood imagination was never childish, only neglected. As sunrise approached, the boat quietly returned. Nothing had changed except Theo smiled more easily than yesterday. From then on, whenever someone said dreams were unrealistic, Theo simply looked toward the sea, where every midnight an old blue boat still sailed without wind. Some journeys leave no footprints, only brighter mornings. Hidden above an old tailor's shop, behind blue shutters and climbing roses, worked a woman named Beatrice. She stitched every afternoon, from the first swallow's song until the evening bells. People brought her coats, curtains, wedding dresses, but that was never her true work. Whenever someone entered with heavy eyes, Beatrice would quietly ask, "What is torn?" Most answered, "My jacket, my sleeve, my pocket." She nodded, though she always knew they meant autumn morning, a school teacher named Elias arrived, carrying his late wife's favorite scarf. It had ripped along one delicate edge. "I know it cannot be made new again," he whispered. "I only wanted to stay together." Beatrice unfolded the scarf across the table. Golden threads caught the morning light. She smiled softly. "Neither do hearts." She selected not matching thread, but silver thread, so people will see where it was repaired. Elias asked, "No, so they will see where it survived." Scars are not mistakes to be hidden. They are quiet maps showing where love refused to disappear. Every careful stitch holds together more than fabric. It holds courage. As winter settled, people began noticing a curious thing. Those who visited Beatrice's workshop left walking a little slower, smiling, a little easier listening, a little longer. No one could explain why. Perhaps kindness fits every size. Fingerstyle guitar, fireplace crackles softly. One snowy evening, a young girl asked, "Who taught you to sew like this?" Beatrice looked toward the window where twilight stitched blue into silver. The sky, the girl laughed. Beatrice didn't. Years later, after Beatrice had quietly retired, people still repaired clothes using tiny silver stitches. Not because they were fashionable, because every silver thread whispered, "You are still whole." Even after storms, even after loss, even after goodbye, look closely at the evening sky, where sunset meets the coming night. There is always a silver seam. Someone, perhaps, is still mending the heavens. At the highest point above Briar Valley, there was a hill that changed color with every season. Spring painted it blue, summer covered it in gold, autumn borrowed crimson, winter left only silence. whisper changed the wildflowers. Children believed the flowers could hear promises. Parents smiled and allowed them to believe it. After all, some stories make people a little gentler. When 12-year-old Lucy buried a tiny ribbon beneath the tallest oak, she whispered, "I promise I will never stop painting." The flowers swayed, though there was no wind. Years unfolded like turning pages. Lucy became an architect. Meetings replaced sketchbooks. Deadlines replaced sunsets. The paintbrushes remained untouched inside a dusty box beneath her bed. One autumn evening, after nearly 20 years, she returned to the hill, almost by accident. The oak tree stood exactly where memory had left it. Nearby, tiny blue wildflowers bloomed around something buried long ago. Lucy knelt, carefully brushing away the soil. She found a faded ribbon, still blue, still tied, still waiting. Promises made by children are unlike any others. They are spoken before fear learns how to interrupt, before success becomes louder than joy, before the world teaches us to postpone the things that make us alive. Lucy unpacked a small watercolor set she had purchased years earlier but never opened. The first brushstroke felt uncertain, the second familiar by sunset. The hillside had become her canvas. Children walking home stopped to watch. One little girl asked, "Did you paint for your job?" Lucy smiled, "No, I paint because I promised." Birdsong fading into evening. The following spring, the town noticed something new. An outdoor painting class beneath the old oak every Saturday, free. Lucy never advertised it. She simply brought extra brushes. People came anyway. Years later, the hill became famous not for its flowers, but for the laughter that bloomed there every weekend. And beneath the tallest oak hidden forever, Every Tuesday morning, before the harbor awakened, an elderly postman crossed the stone bridge, wearing the same navy coat he had owned for nearly 40 years. His leather mailbag looked impossibly full, though no one had seen a delivery truck visit the village in decades. People simply waved. He always waved back. His name was Thomas. According to the town, he had retired long ago. According to Thomas, some letters were patient enough to wait. Not every envelope was meant to arrive on time. Some belonged to the moment. A heart was finally ready to receive them. One windy afternoon, a young widow named Evelyn found a cream-colored envelope resting quietly inside her mailbox. No stamp, no return address, only her name written in familiar handwriting inside 3 pages. Her husband's handwriting. Not dramatic, not poetic, just honest. If this letter finds you, I hope you have remembered how beautifully you laugh. She stopped reading, not because she could not continue, because she wanted those words to last a little longer. Outside, the tide rolled gently against the old pier. A gull circled once above the lighthouse. The afternoon stood perfectly still, as though time itself understood some moments should never be hurried. Not every goodbye belongs to the day we part. Some arrive later, wrapped inside forgiveness, inside memory, inside ordinary mornings that quietly become extraordinary. Love, Thomas believed, always finds the correct address, even if it takes years. The next morning, Evelyn baked bread for the first time since the funeral. She opened every window, played an old jazz record, laughed at a joke only she remembered. The house, silent for so long, finally sounded lived in again. Ocean breeze blending with distant church bells. Months later, Evelyn searched for Thomas to thank him. The post office had been empty for almost 15 years. An old photograph hung quietly on the wall. Thomas standing proudly beside a bicycle dated. She smiled. Some mysteries feel kinder without explanations. Even now, whenever the sea wind slides beneath her door, Evelyn imagines deserves one more chance to be spoken. At sunrise, an old bicycle bell can sometimes be heard crossing the bridge. No one rushes to look. Some deliveries are meant only for the heart. Every evening, before darkness covered the valley, an old shepherd climbed the highest hill with nothing except his lantern and a notebook. The villagers assumed he counted sheep, he never corrected them. Only one curious child, Oliver, asked, "What do you write every night?" The shepherd smiled, "I count stars." Oliver laughed, "There are too many." The old man nodded, "So are blessings." Each page contained a single sentence. Tonight, one little girl shared her umbrella. Tonight, a baker gave away his last loaf. Tonight, someone forgave without telling anyone. None of the stars were made of fire, they were made of kindness. When clouds covered the sky, Oliver asked, "What if you cannot see them?" The shepherd looked toward the village lights. "I can. Some stars live above us, others walk beside us. Every day wearing ordinary clothes, doing ordinary things with extraordinary hearts." Years passed, Oliver grew older, the shepherd grew quieter. One winter morning, the lantern remained hanging outside the cottage, unlit. The notebook, however, rested neatly upon the windowsill, waiting. It is your turn to keep counting. From that evening onward, every sunset, another lantern appeared upon the hill. People still believed it counted stars, only Oliver knew it was counting acts of kindness. Some constellations are never found through telescopes, only through grateful hearts. At the edge of Willowbrook Village, where morning mist rested gently upon wild flowers, worked an elderly gardener named Miriam. She grew roses, lavender, apple trees, but everyone knew those were not her greatest harvest. Every spring, children visited her little garden. Instead of giving them flowers, Miriam handed each child a tiny cloth pouch. Inside one seed, nothing unusual, except every pouch contained a handwritten note. Plant this when you are ready to believe in tomorrow. Most children forgot, some planted them immediately, others kept them inside drawers for years. One boy, Lucas, carried his seed through school, through university, through heartbreak, through moving to another city. It remained inside his wallet, untouched. One difficult autumn, Lucas returned home. He found Miriam watering sunflowers as though time had politely waited. "I think I'm ready," she smiled. "I know." Hope is rarely planted on easy days. It grows best inside tired hands. After disappointment, after rain, after every reason to stop believing, tomorrow always begins with one small seed. Together they planted it beneath an old pear tree. Nothing happened, not that day, not the next. Lucas laughed softly. "I thought I'd feel different." Miriam brushed the soil from her hands. "You will. Roots always work before branches." Fingerstyle guitar, bird song, soft wind through grass. The following spring, a young oak rose quietly from the earth. Children gathered beneath its growing shade. Lucas returned every year, bringing seeds for someone else. Soon the village became known for its trees, not because they were ancient, because each one began as an act of hope. Years after Miriam was gone, people still found little cloth pouches hanging gently from garden gates. No one knew who placed them there. Each contained one seed, one note, and one invitation to believe that tomorrow is always worth planting. When spring arrives, look beneath the oldest trees. Some forests were never planted by gardeners, only by people who refused to give up on the future. On the future. Every Wednesday morning, before the town fully awakened, Mr. Alden unlocked a tiny bookstore hidden beneath climbing ivy. He never opened early on any other day, only Wednesdays, because Wednesdays, he often said, are the loneliest day of the week. People came looking for novels, travel guides, poetry, history, but they always left with something entirely different. A forgotten memory, a conversation, a reason to smile again. Mr. Alden somehow knew which book had been quietly waiting for each visitor. One rainy afternoon, a young architect named Lily entered without speaking. She had recently lost her father. Nothing on the shelves felt right, until the bookseller handed her a weathered gardening journal. She frowned. I don't garden. Mr. Alden smiled. He did. Inside the journal, pressed between two yellowed pages, rested a single maple leaf. Alongside it, a sentence: some things continue growing even after we stop watching. Books are not made only of paper. Sometimes they are built from second chances, from forgotten conversations, from the courage to begin again. One quiet Wednesday at a time. Years later, Lily opened a community library. Every Wednesday, tea was free. No one knew why, except one old bookseller who smiled every single week. The bookstore still stands. Its sign gently sways, waiting for someone who believes. They came only to buy a book. When the church bell struck 7 each morning, every clock inside Rowan Square kept perfect time, except one, hidden at the end of an old cobblestone street. A tiny workshop always remained exactly 3 minutes behind. People joked about it. The old clockmaker never corrected them. He simply smiled. His name was Arthur. He had repaired clocks for nearly 50 years. Pocket watches, grandfather clocks, railway station timers, tiny music boxes that chimed every hour. But there was one rule written carefully above his workbench: I repair time, I do not chase it. No customer ever asked what he meant. One rainy afternoon, a young violin teacher named Hannah entered carrying her father's broken watch. It stopped the morning he passed away. She whispered, I cannot throw it away. Arthur turned the watch over in his hands. It is not broken, he said softly. It is waiting. He opened the tiny brass case inside. The gears were perfect. Only one spring had forgotten how to trust itself. Arthur adjusted it gently, like helping an old friend stand again. The watch began ticking, not loudly, not proudly, just enough to remind the room that healing rarely arrives all at once. Sometimes it begins with one small heartbeat, then another, then another. Arthur returned the watch without polishing it. The scratches remained, the faded engraving remained, even the tiny crack across the crystal remained. Hannah looked surprised. You didn't restore it. Arthur smiled. I restored its future. Its past was already beautiful. Gentle clarinet melody, warm cello enters. Brushes glide across the snare. A grandfather clock quietly joins the rhythm. That evening, Hannah wound the watch before placing it beside her bed. For the first time in many months, she dreamed of her father, not saying goodbye, simply sitting on the front porch, smiling, listening to birds welcoming the morning. Years passed. Arthur's workshop closed quietly, yet every clock he had ever repaired seemed to tick a little more gently than the rest. People often said his greatest gift was never fixing clocks. It was reminding hearts that time does not erase love. It teaches us how to carry it. If you ever walk through Rowan Square, listen carefully. One little workshop still lingers, 3 minutes behind. Just enough time to remember someone before moving forward. Dun, dun, dun. Hidden between cedar forests stood a workshop that smelled of cedar wood, warm wax and cinnamon tea. Inside, old Mr. Elias made lanterns. Not ordinary lanterns, each one carried a forgotten hope someone had accidentally abandoned. A child who stopped drawing, a father who stopped singing, a grandmother who believed she had become invisible. Every lantern remembered. Elias never asked questions, he simply listened, while the glass cooled beneath careful hands. When evening arrived, the lanterns floated above Hollow Creek, golden lights drifting like quiet promises. People watched them without understanding why their hearts felt lighter. One winter evening, a little girl entered. She asked, "Can you repair courage?" Elias smiled. He handed her the smallest lantern he had ever made. Inside, a single firefly. Years later, she returned as the village teacher. The lantern still glowed. Hope, Elias often said, does not become brighter because it grows larger. Sometimes it only needs someone willing to carry it home. After Elias was gone, the workshop remained open because kindness, once learned, always finds another pair of hands. The letter arrived 3 months too late. Its envelope carried the faint scent of lavender, sunlight, and old paper that had traveled farther than anyone expected. Emma turned it over carefully. No address, no stamp, only 5 handwritten words. Open when autumn feels lonely outside. The first maple leaf drifted across her porch. She smiled and quietly opened it. Inside was a single page, creased from being folded many times. The handwriting belonged to her grandmother, soft, steady, and impossibly familiar. Dear Emma, if you are reading this, summer has already packed its suitcase. Do not be sad, it never really leaves. Emma laughed through damp eyes. Only her grandmother could begin a letter like that. The words wandered gently through forgotten afternoons. They spoke of blackberry pies cooling on wooden windowsills, bare feet running through tall grass, old jazz records spinning beside open windows, while rain tapped softly against the roof. Every season, the letter said, borrow something beautiful from the one before it. Autumn carries summer's warmth inside every golden leaf. Emma looked outside, the garden had changed, the roses were sleeping. The sun stayed lower than it used to, yet somehow everything felt wonderfully alive. Summer had not disappeared, it had simply learned another language. It spoke now, through amber forests, through cinnamon mornings, through quiet cups of tea, through the laughter shared beneath oversized scarves. Nothing beautiful had been lost, only transformed into another kind of light. The final page contained no advice, only a recipe. Apple cake, too much cinnamon, too much butter. Measure nothing perfectly, life never does. Emma laughed again. She could almost hear her grandmother's voice coming from the old kitchen, pretending the extra cinnamon had been accidental. It never was. Warm violin rises slowly, soft brush drums, leaves rustling in the background. A gentle jazz piano improvisation lingers between memories. At the bottom of the page, written much smaller, almost as an afterthought, were 12 simple words. When you miss me, bake something. Love always smells like home. Emma lowered the letter. For the first time since the funeral, she did not cry. Instead, she walked quietly into the kitchen. Soon, warm cinnamon filled every room. Neighbors smiled without knowing why. Children slowed their bicycles to breathe the autumn air. The little house, silent for so long, began sounding like music again. Emma finally understood. The letter had never been about summer. It had always been about learning that love never follows the calendar. Years later, Emma wrote the very same letter, folded it carefully, placed it inside an empty envelope, and on the front feels lonely. Some traditions are not inherited, they are quietly continued. Rain arrived before the morning, long before the birds awoke. Tiny silver notes were dancing on the petals of an old forgotten rose. Eleanor stood outside the gate, holding the watering can that was almost older than herself. She smiled. Today, she whispered, perhaps you will finally bloom. The garden had been sleeping for nearly 20 years, not because winter stayed too long, but because no one had believed flowers still remembered songs. Every path was covered gently with moss and drifting ivy. The fountain no longer carried water, only echoes. Eleanor walked barefoot through the silence, touching every leaf as though greeting an old friend. The rain became softer, almost careful, almost curious, as if it wanted to understand why someone would care for a place everyone else had forgotten. Then something beautiful happened. The rain stopped falling and started singing. Every drop became a melody. Every blossom opened slowly. The whole garden breathed together like an orchestra that had been waiting its entire life for one patient listener. Blue hydrangeas lifted their faces, white lilies shimmered beneath cloudy skies. Even the smallest wildflowers stood a little taller. Birds returned one by one, butterflies floated through curtains of mist. The broken fountain began carrying water again, although no one could explain why. Eleanor simply laughed. Sometimes miracles did not need explanation. Soft violin improvisation, brushes on snare, gentle acoustic guitar, rain blending with bird song. She remembered her grandmother saying, flowers never stop listening, people simply stop singing. Those words had waited inside her heart for many quiet years. Now they finally understood each other. The rain was no longer weather, it had become music. Every leaf danced, every stone glowed. Even the old wooden gate creaked gently, like it wanted to join the rhythm. And Eleanor realized she had not garden had restored her. Morning sunlight slipped through the clouds. The rain disappeared, but somewhere among the roses a melody continued, waiting for the next person who still believes. Far beyond the last fishing village, where the cliffs fell quietly into the sea, stood an old lighthouse painted white by time and silver by salt. It no longer guided ships, at least that was what people believed. Every evening its lantern remained dark until the moon appeared. The keeper's name was Samuel. His beard had turned the color of winter clouds, yet his routine never changed. Each sunset he climbed 123 steps, polished the great glass lens, wound the ancient mechanism, and waited, not for sailors, for moonlight. One spring afternoon, a travel writer named Noir arrived with a notebook, a camera, and far too many questions. Why don't you light it before the moon rises? Samuel smiled, because this lighthouse doesn't teach the moon where to shine. It simply welcomes it home. Nora frowned. She wrote the sentence anyway. That evening, clouds covered the horizon. No stars, no moon, only waves breathing against stone. Samuel remained at the window, as though someone invisible might still arrive. Faith is not waiting only when the sky is clear. Faith is polishing the lantern, even when the night forgets to bring the moon. It is preparing beauty before beauty can be seen. Just before midnight, the clouds drifted apart. A single silver beam slipped across the ocean, struck the lighthouse glass and scattered into 1,000 quiet reflections. The sea shimmered, the cliffs glowed. Nora lowered her camera. Some moments she realized were too alive to become photographs. Soft flugelhorn, soft flugelhorn, soft flugelhorn, fingerstyle, guitar, fingerstyle. far beyond the last fishing village, where the cliffs fell quietly into the sea. Far beyond the last fishing village, where the cliffs fell quietly into the sea. Far beyond the last fishing village, where the cliffs fell quietly into the sea. Far beyond the last fishing village, where the cliffs fell quietly into the sea. Far beyond the last fishing village. Far beyond the last fishing village, where the cliffs fell quietly into the sea, stood an old lighthouse painted white by time and silver by salt. It no longer guided ships, at least. That was what people believed. Every evening, its lantern remained dark until the moon appeared. The keeper's name was Samuel. His beard had turned the color of winter clouds, yet his routine never changed. Each sunset he climbed 123 steps, polished the great glass lens, wound the ancient mechanism, and waited, not for sailors, for moonlight. One spring afternoon, a travel writer named Noir arrived with a notebook, a camera, and far too many questions. Why don't you light it before the moon rises? Samuel smiled, because this lighthouse doesn't teach the moon where to shine. It simply welcomes it home. Nora frowned, she wrote the sentence anyway. That evening clouds covered the horizon. No stars, no moon, only waves breathing against stone. Samuel remained at the window as though someone invisible might still arrive. Faith is not waiting only when the sky is clear. Faith is polishing the lantern even when the night forgets to bring the moon. It is preparing beauty before the moon rises. Samuel smiled, because this lighthouse doesn't teach the moon where to shine. It simply welcomes it home. Nora frowned, she wrote the sentence anyway. That evening, clouds covered the horizon. No stars, no moon, only waves breathing against stone. Samuel remained at the window as though someone invisible might still arrive. Faith is not waiting only when the sky is clear. Faith is polishing the lantern even when the night forgets to bring the moon. It is preparing beauty before beauty can be seen. Just before midnight, the clouds drifted apart. A single silver beam slipped across the ocean, struck. On the corner of Ashbury Street, hidden behind ivy-covered brick, stood a music shop that never appeared in travel guides. People remembered the smell of cedar wood, the old brass bell above the door, and the piano that no one had ever seen with a single grain of dust upon it. Even during the longest summers, its black wooden lid always shimmered with tiny drops of rain. Sophia had walked past the shop for nearly 15 years, always promising herself one day One quiet October afternoon, with the city wrapped inside a silver drizzle, she finally stepped inside. The room was empty, no customers, no owner, only hundreds of instruments resting peacefully as though waiting for someone specific. In the center stood the piano, its keys were old ivory, softened by generations of hands. A handwritten note rested quietly upon the music stand. It read, "Please play only if you miss someone." Sophia smiled sadly. "I qualify." She sat down. The first note was almost too gentle to hear. Then another outside. The rain slowed inside. The melody continued growing, as if the weather itself had begun listening. The piano did not collect rain, it collected memories. Every drop that touched its surface became another forgotten melody. A father's laughter, first dance, a goodbye at a railway station. The smell of coffee shared with someone whose face time had blurred, but whose kindness still echoed perfectly. Sophia kept playing, without sheet music, without hesitation. The melody seemed to know where her hands belonged. Photographs appeared inside her thoughts, not clearly, but warmly. Her mother's knitted sweater, snow falling outside a childhood window, Sunday mornings filled with cinnamon and old jazz records. Memories she believed had disappeared forever. Finally appeared, an elderly man with silver hair and patient eyes. He placed a steaming cup of tea beside the piano. "You noticed," he said. Sophia looked up. "The rain?" He smiled. "No." The music was never inside the instrument. It has always been inside the people who are brave enough to remember. When the final chord faded, the rain outside had completely stopped. Sunlight slipped gently through stained glass windows, painting tiny rivers of gold across the polished keys. Sophia closed the piano lid, not because the music had ended, but because it had finally found its way home. Years later, people would often wonder why fresh raindrops still rested upon that old piano. Even during cloudless afternoons, the shopkeeper never answered. He simply smiled, listening to another memory becoming a song. Far beyond Willowbrook, where the morning mist lingered until noon, There stretched an ancient forest that appeared on no modern map. Its trees were impossibly tall. Its paths quietly changed with every season. Travelers often said the forest was alive. The forest never argued. Long before anyone built villages nearby, musicians wandered here, bringing violins, flutes, old guitars, and voices that carried farther than they realized. When they finished singing, the melodies did not disappear. The trees kept them, every note, every harmony, every whispered lullaby. One cool September morning, a young composer named Isabel arrived carrying a notebook filled with unfinished music. For nearly a year, every melody had stopped halfway through. She feared perhaps inspiration had finally grown tired of visiting her. The forest welcomed her with birdsong. She sat beneath an enormous cedar, closed her notebook, closed her eyes. The wind moved slowly through thousands of leaves. Then she heard it, not one melody, hundreds old folk songs, children laughing, a choir hidden somewhere between branches. The forest was singing back. Nothing beautiful is ever truly lost. Every song we sing with love finds somewhere safe to live forever. Sometimes inside another heart, sometimes inside the wind, sometimes inside a forest patient enough to remember. For hours Isabel wrote without stopping. The music flowed as though someone were gently turning invisible pages. She noticed small carvings upon nearby trees, names, dates, simple messages. Thank you, keep singing, we found hope here. Among them one familiar name, Eleanor, the illustrator from Platform 7. She had been here long ago. Through pine branches, birds answered gently. As sunset approached, Isabel packed her notebook. The final page contained only one sentence. When you cannot find a song, listen before writing. She smiled. The forest had become her oldest teacher. Years later, concert halls would perform Isabel's greatest symphony. Critics praised its originality. Only she knew she had written almost nothing. simply remembered what the forest had been singing all along. Walk quietly through old woods. If the breeze sounds almost like music, do not be surprised. Some songs choose trees before audiences.